Oh, hello. In today's video, it's an installment in our irregular series, Should You Buy? In this video, we're asking, should you buy a TT Combat 4 by 4 foot modular gaming board? £62, 16 tiles, laser cut MDF, and clips to clip them together? No, you shouldn't. Right. Thanks for watching. Cheery, bye. Okay, now I'll do a proper review, but I didn't want to make you have to watch through the entire video to get to the answer. All right, call me bad at YouTube. So what is this product? It's a set of 18 MDF tiles with MDF clips that attach them together. So this means that you can build it up to a 4x4, or you can build it down and have it as like a 3x3 or a 2x2, or all ports in between, really. And then take it down again for storage. Sounds good. And why did I want it, or why did I think I wanted it? Well, I have a table. It's an IKEA Lerman. That is not my IKEA Lerman. I do not have lovely wood parquet floors like that. Okay, but I have an IKEA Lerman, and it's just a hair short and 3x3. And as you may know, and maybe gnashing your teeth about, I've been playing a lot of Shatterpoint recently. Or wanting to, and the main time I play games is Zimbad comes around to my house after work on Wednesday, and we play a game. And it was always far easier for us to play Kill Team, because a Kill Team board will fit on Lerman, right? Shatterpoint requires a 3x3 playing space. It's just slightly bigger than the surface area of my table. And I bemoaned this in a previous video, because the only option I have for bigger games is, and I've reviewed it before on the channel, I've got a massive, very nice, I like it a lot, but a massive metal 6x4 folding table. The trouble with that is, to get the massive 6x4 folding table out, you have to clear up the entire floor of the living room from all of Penelope's day, right? Her toys, her things, her stuff. And my wife, who also likes to exist in the same room as me and Zimbad while we're playing our game on her computer, doesn't have any space to exist, basically. So it wasn't really a goer for those after work gaming sessions. So the idea here was, I'd have something that I could buy, pack away, put up easily, stick onto the table to slightly expand the surface area, and get on with playing my games. And it was recommended in the comments. I will not name the recommender to protect the guilty. Okay. Yeah, and it would be a simple solution to allow me and Zimbad to play Shatterpoint, but also in the back of my mind was the idea that by getting the 4x4, we could build it up into a 4x4 to play the Middle Earth strategy battle game without having to get the big table out, me and my wife, which would mean that we could play that. We'd probably only play that on a weekend, so we could have gotten the big table out, but the idea was, we're doing it this way. We thought we might remove. It is a little bit of a barrier to getting that massive table. Glad I have the massive table in case I ever want to play 40k, Old World, Horus Heresy, any of these games that require that sort of 6x4 size. But this was supposed to fill a little gap. So the problem is, first of all, it's quite painful to pull apart and put together. The little clips are made of MDF, and if you were putting the whole table together and you were gluing the clips in and making it into a huge solid 4x4 thing, then yeah, it would be quite stiff and quite good. But keeping it so you can pick it up and put it apart and hide it away, first of all, putting it together, one of the clips started to delaminate, right, as we were clipping it together. It doesn't properly support its own weight. Basically, you can already see, if I go back, you can already see in the previous photograph here, that square on the bottom left is, there's some significant sag there on that one. It's not really flush with the rest of the squares. We did play a game on it, right? But you can see, because obviously you have to have it on its the wrong way up to get the clips in to put it together. And then as soon as you even pick it up to try and turn it, it starts pulling itself apart, right? So you can see this video, the picture at the top here. Literally, as soon as you're trying to turn it, it starts trying to sag under its own weight. really not fit for purpose. At least for my purpose, right? If it was built on a 4x4, it would just collapse under its own weight, right? It just would collapse under its own weight. It doesn't have sufficient structural integrity to hold itself together as a stiff board. So for my case, as a table extension, where you're putting it on top of a table to increase the surface area of the table, totally, utterly unfit for purpose. I cannot recommend it. I cannot recommend it. Building it is pretty straightforward. It does have instructions on the website, right? You've got to build the tiles, glue on the little skirts, glue it all together with PVA, right? Which is what they recommend on the TT Combat website. And then you've got to put together the clips, which is sort of a weirdly annoying little jigsaw puzzle. And I estimate that I did this in, I've said 3 hours of labour. It was probably more like 4. It was probably more like 7, actually, because I'm trying to remember. It actually was 3 sessions. I built most of the clips at work at Warhammer Club after school while the kids were playing Warhammer. So that is 3:30 till 5 o'clock. That's an hour and a half there. And then the other 2, the sections, building the sections. I was at home. I had a film on, and that could have easily been 3. Yeah, I'd say 4.5, coming up 5 hours of labour. And it's not hard, it's just boring. And that's time, right? That's time. However much time you've got at your hobby desk in your life, whether that's loads or a little, that's time. The time you're building this is time that you could have been spending building or painting something good, like miniatures or terrain or something that's not a sort of bad jigsaw puzzle. It's just a lot of man hours to get the thing together. Not difficult, not challenging, but annoyingly long. So what could you use instead? You just buy some wood, which is now what I'm doing. Now look, MDF sheets are a pain to store, right? Having a solid 3x3 MDF sheet in your house is annoying, right? My wife has now taken over the project, as is usually the way. I spend too much money and screw something up, and then she takes over. Which, that's how our relationship works. She's a gem. She really is. And I believe what's coming is 2, 3 by 1.5 sheets of MDF, which we're then going to hinge down the middle with just some Gorilla tape, right? And then that folds in half and goes nicely behind the door. There's a door in the living room which is never ever closed. It's always just open flush to the wall. So there's a little bit of dead space there. And that's ended up costing, I think it was less than £30, honestly, with delivery and everything else. Man. And then, me and Zeb come around for work. That's going to be like 4 minutes of setup time, right? Get the thing out, lift it up, put it on the table, unfold it, and then you're done. And then you're unrolling the mat, right? Which I should have done in the first place, but I thought, a cool hobby project. A cool hobby product that's been recommended. I will give that a go. No, let this be a lesson. Don't pay the hobby tax, right? Don't buy, obviously there are exceptions like paint, right? Don't go and buy craft paint or wall paint or whatever. But when possible, don't pay the hobby tax when, buying a non-hobby version of the thing would do the job perfectly well, perfectly fine, right? Don't pay that hobby tax. Don't do it. Well, you live and learn. You live and you learn. Silver linings. So I own this now. Is it just going to go straight to landfill? Well, the tiles, right, would be good. And I imagine this is what some of the people that have bought this use it for, and they're very happy. And I almost imagine this is, it's not what they say on the website, but if you look at the pattern on top of the tile, they've put this grid pattern on there. They'd be good if you were using them as the base for another hobby project. So, for example, if you're making like a homemade 3D printed Zone Mortalis setup, right? And you wanted the Zone Mortalis tiles, so you were going to make and stick together the Zone Mortalis tiles and then move these around, but resting on a gaming surface at all times. They'd be good for that job. But that makes these clips pointless, because they wouldn't need to be clipped together. You wouldn't need to bother, because they'd all just be resting next to each other on another board, right? So they would be basically, it's instead of using a vinyl mat, right? These would be the 3D train replacement for the vinyl mat. I can see them. If you have the desire to build something like that and the room to store it in your house, I can see the MDF tiles being useful for that purpose. I like spending money, so in my house I've got enough Necromunda injection molded Zone Mortalis plastic floors to make. I don't have enough Zone Mortalis walls, right? I'm going to have to 3D print some extra walls because they're very expensive. But I have the plastic floor tiles already, because I didn't fancy 3D printing a plastic floor. Probably could 3D print just a plastic floor tile, maybe just on an A1, but still. So you could use them for that, or not even Zone Mortalis. You could do ye olde. You could make like hills and rivers and forests and have tiles that you could move around and reconfigure to make a gaming board that way, if you wanted to have that kind of modular thing where the terrain's actually built on the board. But again, not have the tiles be... I was trying to use them in a way which they were advertised, and other people on YouTube have said they work in this way, and they just don't, right? To use them as a structural thing. So if you want them for a terrain project, right, you're going to craft something on top of there, I think these could be a good solution for you. But then you're not going to use these. These are going to go in the bin. These are pointless, right? These clips. Yeah, that's the only kind of use case. I'll keep them in case. Right now I don't need the space they're in because I've just had a big clear out. Please go onto the Discord and buy my stuff, thanks. And so I'll keep them for now. Right, they might come in for stuff. Plus, I have buyer's remorse and don't just want to throw them straight in the bin. Don't. Final thoughts. So I have some MDF on order, so that me and Zim will still be able to play Shatterpoint after work. For middle of strategy battle game, Mrs. Ti and I will just have to get the big table out, right? Do you own this product? Am I doing something fundamentally wrong? Do you need to come and... I'm not slagging off TT Combat. TT Combat make a huge amount of terrain that's really good, and I've had their terrain for different things in the past, and a lot of people really like the stuff they make, right? I know Zimbad Squares buy their paint racks. Please don't feel like you have to go into my comments and stand for TT Combat. I like TT Combat. I like the Troll Trader in general as a whole business. I think it's a great business, but just this particular product, for the thing that I thought it was for, right? Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it was always just for people wanting to make an Ersatz Zone Mortalis type table. But as a thing to put on top of a table and make that table bigger, it doesn't work. Don't buy it wanting it for that. That's the purpose of this video. Don't buy it wanting it for that. Yeah. But if you do think I've got it wrong, if you do want to try and tell me, especially for this product in general, if you own it and you love it and you get good use out of it, then do leave me some comments. And I'm not throwing anything away yet. I've got everything. If you know the one weird trick to make this a fulfilling experience, then do let me know. That's it, really. Do consider subscribing, commenting, liking, etc. Join the Discord. Come and post pictures of your TT Combat 4x4 modular gaming board that brings you a great deal of pleasure and joy. And I will happily and readily admit that I'm mistaken if you do that, okay? I want to say thank you to all my members, the people that financially support me every single month and allow me to squander 62... I did get a discount of about 15%, but still. But they allow me to squander 50 quid on a thing which is ultimately... bobbins, right? Utter and complete bobbins. And that's all down to you, members, so thank you. But especially thank you to Nightfall and Sam Troth, who are both subscribed at the highest tier, and therefore do donate a frankly significant amount of income to me every single month. Thank you so much. And if you're interested in becoming a member, there's a members button down the bottom somewhere. There's a whole extra little video that you get to watch that explains the benefits of membership. You get a secret room on the Discord. You get to watch the live streams back after they've been up, and you get very occasionally you get an extra video, and you get early videos occasionally as well, like this one because I'm on holiday. Good. Thank you. Thanks again. Thanks for watching. Right. Cheery bye. Bye 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 bye.